Boom, boom, boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Boom, boom, boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Episode 67, Season 3, Episode 67 of the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Michael Marcanio. I'm here with Tyler Revelis and Anthony Revelis. Tyler's also known as your boy T. And Anthony Revelis did us a favor and he wore the Billabong shirt. It is Billabong Boy.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it till just now. Billabong Boy's here. We're going into week 9. We are officially, going after this week. It's like, I guess there's no true half to the season. Yeah, right now, right this second, we're halfway through the regular season. Week 9 coming up. So we got a waiver wire episode for you today. We're going to go over all the guys you should pick up this week, whether they're speculative ads, maybe guys that other people are telling you, hey, you should pick this guy up. We're going to be like, hey, maybe don't. Maybe it's not a good idea. So we're going to go over all these quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends that you could possibly pick up this week. It'll be good stuff. If you don't have time for the entire podcast, go ahead and look in the table of contents. I do a little timestamps of everyone we talk about. It makes it a little easier to navigate through the podcast if you don't have time for the full thing. So take advantage of that. All those timestamps are clickable on YouTube, and you have to scroll through the podcast app if you're going to use those. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. If you are subscribed to us on the Apple Podcast app, go ahead and unsubscribe and resubscribe. It helps us out in the algorithm. I know it seems a little silly, but it does help us out. And if you can, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. And then if you would like to, also leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app. And we could possibly read it at the end of the episode. So let's do that. Let's get into it, big boys.
It's time to
bet the wire. Bet the wire.
bet the wire.
Bet the wire. So we always start with quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and then tight ends. We'll start with the quarterback section here. We got Derek Carr to start us off.
Yeah, like Mike said, for the quarterbacks, most time people have, pretty good quarterbacks, have your main quarterback. But, if you got some buys this week, you got Goff, Baker, Joe Burrow, and Carson Wentz. Those guys are on buys. So maybe you're just looking for like a streaming option potentially. So when we talk about quarterbacks, it's kind of mainly like streaming options, just some quarterbacks that have some better matchups than others. But yeah, Derek Carr, he's going to be in Los Angeles playing against the Chargers. Chargers defense has been giving it up like Blair, 19 or more points to quarterbacks in 4 straight weeks, and they just traded away Desmond King, who is one of their best defensive backs. So the passing defense is not going to get better now that you just traded someone away like that.
I was just thinking, what if someone's listening to this first episode and they're like, who's Blair?
Yeah, nobody really knows. I feel like for legal reasons, we should change it to Claire.
Yeah, I feel like that too.
Yeah.
Now on it is Claire.
I don't know.
Giving it up like Claire.
Yeah.
Well, why? Now all Claires around the world are going to feel attacked.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is there's more Claires? It's very like.
Well, what if we're talking about the Blair Witch Project?
Okay, I can get down with that.
Giving it up like the Blair Witch Project, dude.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, Derek Carr, he's probably going to be your better streaming option available if you're looking for a streaming option. I looked, I might agree to disagree with the next guy, but I looked and I was like, it's pretty bad as far as like
rough,
streaming going. At least Derek Carr, I think he's QB 13 or 14. He's somewhere in the 12 to 14 range, depending upon the leagues. A couple 3 touchdown games. That's what you're looking for. 2 games over 300 yards. And like Tyler said, the Chargers haven't been a great defense. They just let Drew Lock throw for, I think, a career high 3 touchdowns. So yeah, Derek Carr, not mad at it.
Do it. Let's go on to the next one. Speaking of the Broncos, we got Drew Lock.
Yeah, did you see
the Broncos are coming back?
Did you see Drew Lock at the end of the game on Sunday?
Hug it, chug it, football.
Threw a little touchdown on the last play of the game. I mean, it's not the sexiest option, but he is playing against Atlanta. I know they've been doing a little bit better since they fired Dan Quinn, but I mean, they are the 32nd ranked team in terms of facing off against quarterbacks. I mean, outside of last week where Teddy Bridgewater got banged up and left the game, and it was raining pretty good. They've given up 300 or more passing yards in 7 of the 8 games. So I mean, it's just a decent little stream matchup. I'm assuming Atlanta's going to be able to score some points. I always say that, but then they'll come out and score like 16 points. The Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, I would if I had to pick between the two we're talking about, I would go Derek Carr. I mean, I know he got hurt the one game, but 1 touchdown, 0 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. He's had a couple goose eggs last year. Atlanta's defense is playing a little better. Matthew Stafford needed the 70-yard, 20-second drive to get over 300 yards, and then Kirk Cousins needed garbage time to get to 3 touchdowns as well. It was over 300 yards. So, but I looked at like in one league, I looked at the waiver wire, and he would have been my top choice. So, if you're going to take a chance against Atlanta.
Hopefully you have a good quarterback.
Take a chance. By the way, in super flex leagues, this is just if there's no quarterbacks available. I noticed Nick Mullins. They're playing the Packers. He's super available. Packers have been giving up 20-plus points every week for the past 4 weeks.
I will say this is a point
Just
in the
a
year.
thought.
Oh, sorry, Mike. I thought you were done. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Where you could, if you're a team on the cusp of getting knocked out, you could try and bye-week trade yourself. What I mean is you need a quarterback. Trade someone who has some value on your bench that's on a bye to get a quarterback this week if you're on the cusp of being knocked out. I've done that in one league before where I did 2 weeks. I had to make trades for players to try and stay alive, and I did it because if I'm rolling Derek Carr or Drew Lock out there and I get knocked out, I mean, it is what it is. But if I'm able to flip someone who's on a bye, maybe I'm able to turn Gio Bernard into a backup quarterback that someone has that has a really good matchup and I'm able to win this week, I say go for it.
Yeah. Do it. Trade. Big Ben. Playing the Cowboys this week. Just saying.
Yeah, see, that's not a bad move. Do it.
Do it. So let's move on to the running backs here. We got J.K. Dobbins. I don't understand. The Steelers have only allowed 109 yards to a backfield in a game, and J.K. Dobbins crushed that.
Yeah, hashtag interesting stat. He's the only player this season to have over 100 rushing yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Don't discount the bust. He was to 16 for 87 as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not 100.
Yeah. But he has more wheels than JK because he's bus. He's on more axles.
Oh, okay.
So he's not as fast. He can't go as fast.
That makes sense.
See? Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're so smart.
So in bus yards, it's 115.
But yeah, I mean, these running backs are kind of, dictated on whether Mark Ingram comes back or not. I mean, I guess they're good speculative ads, but I mean, Mark Ingram's dealing with, I think they're calling it a high ankle sprain, and we've seen the high ankle sprain keep a couple players out already for several weeks. So if Mark Ingram misses again, then this running back is pretty much Dobbins plays 66% of the snaps, but in terms of the touches, he got 16 touches, and I think Gus Edwards had 16 touches as well. And like Anthony said, 87 yards for Gus Bus. And he's got a touchdown in back-to-back games. So, I mean, yeah, if you need a running back this week, these guys are available in a good amount of leagues.
I will say that they had entire drives, because I watched that whole game, that they had entire drives where they just ran the ball. They did not throw the ball one time, which was wild because Pittsburgh, on the other end, did not run the ball once. They fucking threw the ball every down. But
that's what the Ravens want to do,
Yeah, but that's how their team is, So,
yeah, I mean, I think there's good better standard plays than PPR plays for sure because they don't get really involved in the passing. JK does a little bit, but Gus doesn't that much. I mean, I'm just looking at it right now. JK had 1 catch for 8 yards last week, so decent standard plays just due to the amount of touches they're probably going to get. But half point in PPR. I mean, I'm not breaking the bank for him as far as Fab goes because if Mark Ingram comes back, it just throws the situation into a mess. But
the thruple.
As long as Mark Ingram's out, they both, I think, are startable, especially in standard leagues, probably even half, and maybe PPR if you need him in a pinch.
Yeah.
I like that. We can move on to Cam Akers. We'll talk about him real quick. So he did get a little bit more run, but we were talking about it before we started recording. We don't know how it's going to be. Sean McVay keeps talking about, he wants to get Cam Akers more involved, but it just doesn't seem like – it seems like they kind of have – you were talking about Darrell Henderson's more elusive, one of the more elusive backs, actually in the league this year.
Yeah, he surprised me. He's the number 1 rated, according to Pro Football Focus, which I don't, I'm not gonna say that the most accurate or not most accurate, but the number one rated running back in PFF. So he's doing a lot of stuff right. So he's what I was getting at is he's not going to lose his role, and game in and game out, he's been the most efficient, and it's almost not even close.
Yeah. So if you were to add Cam Akers, it'd be more of a speculative add, almost like if one of those guys goes down, maybe his role becomes bigger, but it's not like he's getting this huge target share. This is my biggest miss on the year, probably. I drafted Cam Akers so many times.
I mean, it's all right. You just didn't expect. I mean, I feel like we were kind of expecting Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson to be more involved, like a 50-50 split, and Malcolm Brown just, like this veteran backup. But Malcolm Brown is getting a lot of run as well. And then, I mean, there's been a couple games where Akers hasn't even seen the field. He's been healthy.
You want to talk about thruple?
Yeah,
that's what this is right here.
I think he just kind of rides the hot hand, McVay, and if one running back's struggling and the other one's doing better, then I think that running back will see a lot more carry. So he's a little risky. I think, like Anthony said, he would need like an injury to one of these guys, or them to get COVID, end up on the COVID reserve list for him to kind of have any real value, or for you to feel safe and confident with him going forward.
I think it's something to note because I know this is something off-season wise. We're like, oh, they invested a second-round, third-round pick, and like I said, I don't give a fuck when it comes to that. And it kind of seems like some of the coaches, I mean, even Jonathan Taylor was a first-round pick essentially, or basically was the first pick in the second round, but the first pick. So they don't need to give these guys in their rookie year a workload, and they're not tied to it. It's like you see Cam Akers, even Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift isn't getting now he's getting more incorporated, but just because they're a second round, first round, third round, maybe after the top 15 first round running back, but third round running back, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to have that job or a role necessarily. So I think it's just something to note going forward. If we have someone drafted in the second round next year early and we're all like, oh, he's the second round pick, this and that. It's like, okay, well, look, we had this situation happen with Cam Akers last year. We need to notate that into his floor when you're appropriately trying to rank him and draft him.
Yeah, I would say unless it's like top 10 almost.
Yeah,
it's like Saquon. Saquon, it's like, okay,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Josh Jacobs, the guys going to the top 15, just I'm trying to think of who's Zeke. These guys going high picks, they're not. That's a different story. But let's say second rounder going forward, or maybe the last pick of the first round, something like that.
Right. Okay. I agree. We could go to Zach Moss. Zach Moss looks like he's taking over the Bills' backfield.
Moss the boss.
I mean, it's pretty much still running back by committee over there. I mean, they're splitting snaps pretty evenly, like 50-50, and then they're getting about the same amount of touches. But where Zach Moss thrives and is, doing better than Singletary is he's getting all the goal line work. Singletary is kind of I've looked at the numbers, kind of, the couple games they've played. Singletary is like the 20-20 guy, and then Zach Moss is still getting incorporated as well in 20-20. But it's like when they get close. When they get inside the 10-yard line, the 5-yard line, it's the Zach Moss show. And then also you have, Josh Allen, who's snaking touchdowns from Singletary and Zach Moss as well. But, I mean, how do you feel about Zach Moss? Where would you rank him compared to some of these other guys that are available on the waiver wire? Zach Moss is available in pretty much 45% or more of leagues.
I'm probably not touching him. It's just I don't like the upside. Like last week was like his probably – I can almost guarantee that was his best game of the year.
Yeah.
It's just, week 1, week 2, 9 for 11, 8 for 37. Kansas City, 5 for 10. Against the Jets, 7 for 47. Like last week, they just ran the ball well against New England. He happened to get in the end zone twice. They play Seattle next week. They're not going to be in a run game script. He's gonna have to get involved in the passing game or get lucky to score. I'm not wasting a waiver wire pick on a committee that I don't think has much touchdown upside.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at maybe not wasting a waiver claim or maybe just bid like $1 on him or something like that. I wouldn't be mad at having him on my bench just because if something happens to Singletary, then I want to say he'd be a full workhorse back who's getting around 18, 20 total touches a game with some goal line work. So I wouldn't be mad at having him as like a, like I said, it's tough to come across running backs, and I mean, you see guys like Gio Bernard, Boston Scott. I mean, they were useless, but Mixon goes down, Miles Sanders goes down, and now I started both those guys in one league where I was hurting for running backs. Those were my RB1 and my RB2 this week, and it's not pretty, but I mean they're getting it done. So I wouldn't be mad at stashing a guy like Zach Moss if he passes through the waivers, or like I said, maybe $1 bid on him.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that because this is the time of year to do that. So
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, we can go on to
what's your boy T?
Tyler Ervin. The Green Bay Packers have a little thing called COVID going on.
You want to turn that you want to turn it down for a second? I forget where it's at. I can't find it.
It's D.
No, it's not. That's
He said turn it down, so I thought it was Jurassic Park.
yeah.
No, it's down with the sickness.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Get down with the sickness. Bro, we're getting so many drops. I'm losing track of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, you got a couple of the running backs there. Get down with the sickness. So yeah, you got A.J. Dillon, the rookie running back for the Packers. It came out after the game, right? The reports came out after the game. He tested positive.
I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So yeah, and so I guess just due to the COVID protocols, ipso facto, now Jamal Williams can't play due to like the contact tracing. So now they're down Jamal Williams, who has been balling. A.J. Dillon was kind of non-factor. We still don't know what's up with Aaron Jones, whether he's going to play or not. It's a short week. It's Thursday. Does he play? Does he not? But if he doesn't play, it looks like it's going to be a mix between Tyler Ervin and another running back, Dexter Williams. I mean, how do you feel about this situation? Are you just avoiding it all costs, or?
I mean, it's like I just said put like, I don't know if you had the name in there, but I said throw the name in there because if you might need a desperation running back, and there's a chance that the Packers offense, it's a good offense. So if he ends up being the goal line back, I mean, we've seen Aaron Jones have massive games or Jamal Williams have some back-to-back good games. So there could be some sneaky value. I know San Francisco has a pretty good defense, but I mean, you saw DJ Dallas be effective last week against them for 2 touchdowns. So there's some decent upside if you need a desperation. So I don't think you'll need to really bid anything on him, to be honest. Or I don't think a lot of people are going to be going after him. Like I picked up DJ Dallas in one league off the waiver wire. Like I waited till his stuff ran. I think it's a very similar situation.
Yeah, I mean, if I have Aaron Jones, I'm probably trying to go out and get him if he doesn't play, because it's kind of like now you're just handcuffing Jamal Williams too. But I mean, you do have a lot of running backs who are on buys this week. I mean, you got the thruple of running backs for the Rams. You got Kareem Hunt. You got Gio Bernard and mix in there on bye, and then you got the Eagles running backs, Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. They're out too. So it might be tough sledding for someone. You're just looking for anybody just to throw into your lineup to get you some type of points. And like Anthony said, it's a good offense, and I'm expecting if it's just him and Dexter Williams, I mean, it's a shot in the dark. We really don't know what's going to happen, but I would expect Tyler Ervin to be the lead back there and get around 15 touches and then maybe get some goal line work. So if you just need like a body, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I got you. Yeah, it's I'm just like looking whether or not it's worth it to add him on there.
It'd be like a 1 week rental, because if Aaron Jones doesn't play this week, then they have a whole nother week, because they play on Thursday, so they'll have a whole nother week to prepare.
My thinking is too is if say like Tyler Ervin, what's the protocol for COVID? 2 weeks?
I don't know. It's like it seems like I don't know.
Okay.
I thought it was 3 weeks, but I don't know if that's if you have it, because I know there's been players like Cam where he came back after like a week, didn't he?
Yeah, it seemed like
that's why
right.
I'm like I don't know. It's like
so
they haven't really I haven't seen like a real like hard plan on COVID.
Yeah, they don't. But so my thinking is that even if you get Tyler Ervin, right? Say Aaron Jones doesn't play, it's like this is the week you get to play him, because say Jamal Williams doesn't test positive, because it's just contact tracing. So then you only have Tyler Ervin for this week. So if you're picking him up, it's like you almost got to play him this week. You know what I mean? Or else don't pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like a bye week fill-in kind of running back or injury.
Yeah, like I'm looking, because I have like Jamycal Hasty, and then I have Chase Edmonds and Antonio Gibson coming off by, and I'm like, okay, well I don't think I'm gonna pick up Tyler Ervin in that league, just because it doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, that's wicked smart right there.
Yeah.
Wicked smart.
I
Wicked
agree.
smart.
We can move on to DJ Dallas.
DJ.
It's like every running back in this division is getting screwed.
I was texting
Kenyon
somebody.
Drake,
He was
like Carlos Hyde, all Chris Carson, Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, all these guys are going down. Jerick McKinnon.
I was like, I played this guy, and he was like, look at your team. He's like, who the fuck is DJ Dallas? It's like some DJ name. But I mean, I guess it was a similar situation to TJ Irvin. I mean, if you have him and you played him last week, congrats. He had a good game. Hold him, because we've seen injury reports where like they're optimistic in their game time calls, and then these players end up missing 2 or 3 weeks. But I mean, if he's a starting running back, I mean, you're going to play him. You're going to play him again.
Yeah,
definitely.
a good rookie out of Miami. I know he's kind of, you don't want to compare him to like Frank Gore, but I mean they both out of the U, and I mean he kind of does remind me of when I was watching the tape or the college tape. He does kind of remind me of like a Frank Gore type of a running back. So a super talented kid, and like I said, he was getting the workload. What do you have, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had him. No, he had just. He probably had a receiving touchdown.
He had a receiving and
that's right.
He's a good pass catcher.
Yeah, I was. I picked him up and then I dropped him.
So yeah, like
So
they said,
nobody
if you got Hyde and Carson out again, I mean you're definitely dialing up DJ Dallas.
Do it.
He's got the fire beats.
Put him in your lineup. So we got these 2 guys, Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins, both had more touches here. Nyheim Hines had the cool back handspring after one of his receiving touchdowns. So I feel like that's like the big reason Nyheim Hines has been being thrown into this list. I kind of threw him in here because I don't think I'm going to be targeting Nyheim Hines because I can't realistically think of a time where I'm going to be like, yeah, this is the week I'm playing Nyheim Hines. Because you're still expecting Jonathan Taylor to get the majority workload. It's just this week it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor's nursing. I mean, he's just nursing like an ankle injury. So does it keep him out? Does it hamper him? I mean, does this turn into like a throuple of running backs over there for the Colts? It's just crazy though, because Nyheim Hines had that crazy week 1. Marlon Mack went down, and there was a guy in one of my leagues. He bid all 100 of his fab on Nyheim Hines in week 1, and then I was checking the waiver wire, and Nyheim Hines is on the waiver wire.
Yeah,
it's like he just blew his load week 1 on all the waiver wire, all the fab, and then he just dropped him. But I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be rushing out to get Nyheim Hines. Yeah, he had the 2 touchdowns. He had the nice, backflip. But I mean, outside of that, he didn't get a ton of carries. Didn't get a ton of receptions. I think he only had 3 receptions. 3 or 4. I mean, obviously he gets the 2 touchdowns, but it's like if he doesn't get those 2 touchdowns, he doesn't have a good game for you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it perfectly. If he doesn't score touchdowns, you're disappointed. So I'm not wasting anything on him.
It's like, and it's not like he only had 5 rushes. So 5 rushes for 8 yards, and then he had 3 receptions for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that just doesn't happen. If you want to talk about volume, it's like that's just not.
Yeah, and we're not banking on Rivers to be coming out here slinging 3-4 touchdowns a game. I mean, he could barely throw for two a game. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, he completely killed T.Y. Hilton's value.
I think the running back that maybe you're considering, Jordan Wilkins, he had 20 touches, and then if Jonathan Taylor was to miss the next week's game, maybe they're like, okay, like he's a rookie, his ankle's banged up, and like we don't want it to get further aggravated or further injured. Let's just start Jordan Wilkins this week. Would you be interested in starting Jordan Wilkins, or is he just kind of like, eh?
I mean, I'm not mad at it in desperation play. He's going to see majority of the carries. He's going to probably be a lock for 13 carries as long as they're not getting blown out.
Goal line work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a guy if Jonathan Taylor is out, then I would feel a lot more confident starting a guy like Jordan Wilkins.
And you know what? I don't even think you need to put a waiver claim on it, too. I think you can actually be able to add Jordan Wilkins because a lot of people are going to be looking at the fantasy points that Nyheim Hines put up, and they're not going to be looking at the attempts and whatnot. They're going to be – I feel like Nyheim Hines is going to be more picked up than Jordan Wilkins.
Yeah, or maybe throw like a $1 fab on there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like that $1 fab will just sneak it through.
Yeah, definitely.
If I have Jonathan Taylor – and like I'm kind of hurting at running backs, then maybe I'm making it a little bit more of a priority to go get Jordan Wilkins because it's like, okay, I need, Jonathan. I only have 2 running backs, and Jonathan Taylor's one of them. So if he misses, I need another running back. Let me just go handcuff him in a sense with Jordan Wilkins. So that would be like where I'd be putting a claim in for him if I had Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I'm with that, baby. We'll move on to Jamycal Hasty, the San Francisco running back. He
Hasty.
Wasn't pretty. Got you 10 points though, not great, not terrible, but the backfield is messed up.
Well, yeah, I think Tevin Coleman's on the injury report now, so I mean, I think he is a guy that if Tevin Coleman's out, and I mean, they're not going to give it to McKinnon, so it's like who's going to see all the carries? It's going to be Jamycal Hasty.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mostert on IR still. Jeff Wilson Jr. is on the IR. He said Tevin Coleman, he banged up the knee again. I don't know if he re-aggravated it or it's a new knee injury, but maybe he just came back too soon. So we don't even know if he's going to play. So, yeah, it's kind of, it's left to Jamycal Hasty and McKinnon. I mean, McKinnon was still incorporated. I I think he had like 4 catches out of the backfield, so maybe a little bit better in PPR. But it's still, I feel like Anthony said last week, pull the trigger and one of these guys is going to boom, but sometimes it's so hard to predict. You're throwing in a waiver claim, Fab, on Hasty. I mean, he's available he's available in a wide range of leagues. ESPN 38, 71% on NFL, and then 58% on Yahoo. So he's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, if you're telling me that I get to start a running back against the Green Bay Packers, who Dalvin Cook and they've been giving it up to Claire, to say the least. 741 rushing yards on the year, 10 touchdowns. If you're gonna tell me I get the starting running back in Shanahan's offense with maybe only one other guy involved, I'm picking him up. I'm probably starting.
Yeah.
I'm probably starting him over some names you'd be like, really? I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. Because there's not a lot of running backs in this situation to compete. If Tevin Coleman's out, that's the key. If Tevin Coleman's in, I'm probably staying away from the whole situation. If it's him and McKinnon, yeah, I have no problem lighting him up as like an upside RB2.
I like it.
I like it too.
Especially against that pack.
Let's go to Damien Harris. Damien Harris.
Yeah, so this is the guy, I feel like we talk about Damien Harris.
Like John Brown last year?
Yeah, every single week. I mean, I get it. He was on IR, so he didn't play for the first couple weeks. Then he came out. He had the good games. I think it was like 17 carries, 100 yards. Then they had like the bye because of the COVID situation. And then, he 2 dud games. But this week, came out, and another 100 yards, found the end zone. He's kind of turning into like the main running back there. It's kind of crazy because James White was one of my starts of the week. I was expecting with no Julian Edelman, no N'Keal Harry, the Patriots would be chasing and James White would be utilized more out of the backfield, but he just was non-existent. I mean, for the touches breakdown for these running backs, it was Damien Harris had 16, Rex Burkhead had 7, and then James White only had 4. But I mean, in the games where Damien Harris has seen 16 or more touches, he's gotten you over 100 yards in both of those games. So, I mean, like I said, it's tough sledding for running backs out there. But, I mean, it looks like Damien Harris is the Sony Michel 2.0, I guess, if you want to call it, like the running back who's going to get majority of the carries and the goal line work.
The Sony with knees?
Sony with knees.
Basically.
Sony with knees.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I needed a win this week, I would burn my first priority on Damien Harris. He gets to play the Jets this week. So
New York
in a
Jets.
game, I think the games where he hasn't done well and even then he's been efficient on his yards per carry. I think it was like 13 carries, 9 carries. So he's been seeing the workload. It's just that they were getting smacked by Denver, I believe it was, when that game script went negative.
The
really
Niners,
fast.
the Niners blew them out.
The Niners
too.
blew them out. So it's 2 games where it was a negative game script. So okay, maybe he's a guy that we need positive game scripts, and the Patriots aren't the old Patriots, so he's not going to be as good as Sony Michel was or like LeGarrette Blount or some of these guys. But I'm pretty sure the Patriots are going to be in this against the Jets. So 15. I wouldn't surprise me if he goes over 20 carries this week against the Jets.
Yeah, like I said, a good game script where they should be ahead or at least competitive.
Yeah. And then, I mean, next week you go to Baltimore, maybe he's someone you bench, and it's just maybe you just play the matchups. But when you have matchups that are going to be more the positive or neutral game script, I think Cam Newton needs a running game to help him out too with the lack of weapons. So I think if they can just get Damien Harris going and mix these other guys in, I think it's only going to help the offense and help Cam Newton and the rest of the team.
Yeah, because they literally have no receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's 50% or more available in all the leagues. So, like I said, sometimes it's just good to have the depth at the running back position, and you can never have enough running backs. So I would definitely go out and get him. And then, like, he's coming off a good game this week. Maybe he comes out and he balls again on Monday night against the Jets, and then maybe you flip him before he goes and plays the Ravens because, like Haley said, it's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
He has a dud game. So if he's coming off 2 back-to-back games where he's getting 16-plus touches, he gets you 15-plus points in both the games, maybe you try to flip him for a more serviceable player for the rest of the season.
I like it. Let's do it. Move on to Phillip Lindsay. How available is Phillip Lindsay?
He's more owned than not. He's 32% in ESPN available, 53% in NFL, and then 35% in Yahoo. I just wanted to throw him in there because, I mean, if he's still available in at least a third of the leagues, I figure it's a guy you should go out and get. And, I mean, he's looked better than Melvin Gordon to me, in my opinion. Melvin Gordon's still the receiving back. Phillip Lindsay's, you would think of him being like the smaller scat back type body frame, that he would be the receiving back, but it's actually Melvin Gordon. But, I mean, since the Week 5 bye, he's had 38 carries, 263 yards. He's running at 6.9 yards per carry. 79 or more rushing yards in 3 straight weeks. I mean, the snap percentage is it's pretty much 50-50. You know, it's Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon. I think people are sleeping on Phillip Lindsay. I mean, you might forget that he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons to start his career. I mean, he put, like you see the highlights right here. He just breaks off a long run right there. I feel like he's so small. He kind of hides behind the lineman, and then he's so quick and elusive that he can sneak by and get these big chunk plays.
Yeah, the hair makes him aerodynamic.
Yeah.
I feel like it does the opposite.
Nah. That one's
Nah. Dude, go pick up Phillip Lindsay if he's there. And we'll move on to the wide receivers. We got Corey Davis. Corey Davis is actually pretty available, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's pretty much 48% or more available. This is a guy I feel like we've been touching on a couple weeks as well in a row. Like, we're just like, hey, Corey Davis. I don't know if it's just because he's burned people for so long.
Probably.
And now he's just finally having a good year. I don't know if it's Tannehill. I don't know if it's the emergence of A.J. Brown. Maybe it's because he's in a contract year and he's like, shit, I'm about to be a bust. I'm trying to get paid. I don't know what it is. But, I mean, he's been balling.
I feel like it's it's probably Ryan Tannehill, and I think it is A.J. Brown, because I feel like for some years it was just Corey Davis was like the only guy there.
Yeah.
And it's
the
like
emergence of Jonnu.
Yeah, Jonnu spreading the field a little bit. Derrick Henry helps big time too. Derrick Henry getting dialed in. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I think Corey Davis is probably he's probably my top pickup for wide receiver maybe.
Yeah, I mean, as far as targets go, he's like the 1B on this team. I mean, they both missed 2 games. They both have 39 targets.
Yeah.
So it's like, as far as volume perspective goes, it's like a 1A, 1B situation. Obviously, A.J. Brown's going to be a top 12 play every week, but I'm saying when it comes to volume, Corey Davis is right there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. He'd be one of my favorite waiver wire pickups. I put a pretty decent amount of fab on him if I needed a receiver, because he's a guy you could flex every single week. I mean, he's in PPR leagues. He's gotten you 12 or more PPR points in all 5 games, and he's actually averaging the 16th most points per game for wide receivers. So, I mean, he'd be a solid flex guy for you, and he's available in a ton of leagues on the waiver wire. So I would definitely make it a priority to go get him.
That's what I call horny, baby. Let's move on to the next one. We got Darnell Mooney.
You good there, Cowboy?
Darnell Mooney, Big Dick Nick's throwing you the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of Dre's dudes right here. He wanted us to throw him in. I'm not sure how much confidence I would have outside of any pass catcher that's not named Allen Robinson for the Chicago Bears. But Mooney's looked pretty good. I mean, on that Monday Night Football game, Nick Foles barely missed him for it would have been like a 94-yard touchdown pass. He had like a little stop and go on Jalen Ramsey, and Ramsey bit on the stop, and Mooney was going, but Foles kind of just overthrew him.
Ramsey gets lucky on a lot of plays like that, where like I've seen him get beat bad, and then like it'll just be like a missed throw.
Yeah, well, it helps when Aaron Donald's like destroying the quarterback as he's trying to throw it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But I mean, what do you feel about Darnell Mooney?
Yeah, I'm with you. You got the quarterback situation. I'm not trusting anyone outside of Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
I think
more like a
nice,
DFS sneaky play.
Yeah.
DFS, and I think he's a decent. I mean, a dynasty. I think if you have him in dynasty, you're liking what you're seeing in year 1 out of him, especially with Allen Robinson kind of being frustrated with the team and contract situation and all that. So, he could be their future, wide receiver 1 coming up very, very shortly.
Yup. All right, we'll move on to Marvin Jones Jr. He finally had a game. Was that this week?
Yeah, I think he had 2 touchdowns this game.
So how did the Colts? They played the Falcons. No. How did the Lions play the Falcons last week? And then they couldn't put up any points. Matt Stafford didn't do anything. And then this week against the Colts, they just Colts are supposed to have a pretty good defense. They let up 32 points, whatever it was.
I think they're just in. The Colts are shellacking the Lions, so they pretty much just were in pass mode the whole game. But I mean, you got Kenny Golladay. He left, and I think it was in the first quarter because he put up a goose egg for you. But he's got a hip injury. I think it is, right?
Yeah,
he's got the hip, coach.
It's not smooth.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not good for Kenny Golladay owners. I mean, how do you like Marvin Jones? He's available in pretty much 50% of leagues. I mean, to me, he's kind of touchdown dependent. I mean, we've seen now, if you want to count this last week's game. With Kenny Golladay leaving early with the injury. I mean, there's been pretty much 3 games without Kenny Golladay, And in all 3 of those games, he has not had over 55 receiving yards, and he has not had over 4 receptions in any of those games. So I can't imagine now all of a sudden it's just going to change if Galladay misses again.
Yeah, I don't say less. All right, who we got next?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I mean,
on that.
I'm not gonna repeat what he said.
No, you're right. I mean, I agree with you. Like, it's too boom or bust. I can't rely on it.
And it's been like a baby boom. It wasn't even like a boom boom.
Yeah.
It was like. It wasn't like.
It was like Mike's guns.
Yeah, it was like that first gun. Like when he's getting warmed up.
Yeah,
you want to have that.
You
full
can't rely
explosion.
on that. We'll go on to Alan Lazard. What's up with this big boy? Because you added him in here, Tyler.
I mean, the reports. At first, I thought he was supposed to be done for the year. That's what I initially saw. It was like a core injury, and he was supposed to be done for the year.
I fucking dropped him.
But I guess he got activated off IR, and he was practicing last week. It is a short week, so we don't know if he's going to play this week. I mean, we keep joking around saying, why don't the Packers make a move to go get a receiver? I mean, there were some talks about them potentially trying to get Will Fuller. It is the trade deadline today, so if anything happens, we'll let you know. But, I mean, if Lazard comes back, he's available in 65% or more leagues, and he's only played 3 games, but in 2 of the 3 games, 18 or more PPR points.
Yeah, I mean, if he starts playing, for sure. It's more of like a speculative ad. If you have deeper benches, I would say go ahead and grab him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he got activated off the IR, so you can't even put him in your IR spot. Right?
Yeah, he's a deep ad for me.
By the way, if you guys are trying to – what I've learned to figure out is because so many people get put on IR last second or go out last second, I actually started doing this thing where I'll pick up a player and and if I don't have enough room on my bench, I'll just drop my kicker. And then I'll pick up the player, and then, like, a player usually ends up I have so many fucking injuries. Like, Jamison Crowder went out. It said he was out, like 10 minutes before the game. And then I just went and picked up a kicker. Or I put him in an IR spot and then put a kicker in. Just a little strategy to have an extra bench spot.
Yeah, or if you have an extra bench spot and you play in, I think it's Yahoo and NFL, keep dropping handcuffs. I do that. I was able to not spend any money on Jamycal Hasty because I picked him up the week prior. Because you can drop mid-game. Like, if a game's over, I'll drop someone else and pick up a new handcuff.
Really?
Yeah.
You can drop your handcuff in the middle of the game?
Yeah, you can just drop them. And then you can pick up so let's just say there's the 10 o'clock games.
Oh, if they're on your bench?
Yeah. Say if you have an extra roster spot, you might as well. Let's just say you have the 10 o'clock games and Alexander Madison's there where you pick him up. Dalvin Cook goes healthy. You have Zeke going at the 1 o'clock game. You pick up Tony Pollard. You go to the 5 o'clock game. You just keep dropping them.
Can you really do that?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
That's
it's actually worked
insane.
out for me a couple times where someone gets hurt and I end up having the handcuff.
Bro, that's like G codes.
Oh, fuck, everyone can do it.
Hacks.
It's the NFL Network, the NFL app. That shit sucks.
Yeah,
I saw
he said Yahoo.
I saw
He
like
said
Denzel.
Yahoo.
You
He
dropped
said
Denzel.
Yahoo.
Oh, Yahoo. Oh.
You do Yahoo too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's say NFL though.
Yeah,
you
no,
dropped
nobody
Denzel
uses-
Mims, and someone picked him up instantly. But then I was like trying to put a claim in for Big Ben, and I had to wait all the way till Sunday for it to go through. And I'm like, I don't understand how did Mims get picked
Yeah,
up?
that app
Because Mims
does
is in a
suck.
piece of shit. That's why.
That app does suck. I don't have any leagues in the Yahoo app.
I hate the NFL app.
Or the NFL app.
But yeah,
I mean.
take advantage of that if you have it.
Yeah, but I use the Yahoo. I like the Yahoo
I
app.
like it.
We can go on to another wide receiver here. We got Mike Williams. I don't think he's that available, but I could be mistaken on that.
He's there. 2 out of 3 he was there for me.
Yeah, he's kind of all over the place. 47% ESPN, 90% in NFL, and then 46 in Yahoo. I mean, what's your thoughts on? Obviously, you guys know how much I like Mike Williams, so I don't want to keep
Is he a good
tooting
kisser?
that horn,
Is he a
but
good
it's like-
kisser?
it's kind of hard. I have to get the step ladder to get up to him because he's so tall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on Mike Williams? I have to get an unbiased opinion.
It's like, the heart rate sensor? That's his points. Like when you're looking at what is it, where the heartbeat goes?
Yeah.
Doot,
Yeah.
doot.
That really
it's like
is.
when he spikes, but when he doesn't spike, it's like 1 for 5.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like, I mean,
And
there's
you can't read. It's so hard to read into the stats on on the matchups. It's not like he has a consistent thing. It's just it seems to be like super random.
Yeah, when Keenan Allen goes out in the middle of a game, he balls.
Yeah.
So if you know that Keenan Allen's going to get hurt in the first quarter, start Mike Williams, because it just seems like anytime Keenan Allen gets hurt, it's like the game plan's like just dial out Mike Williams for 10 targets. But it's like, to Mike's point, it's like, I don't fucking know when it's going to be. It's like good matchups, it doesn't happen. Bad matchups, it happens. It's back-to-back. It's bad games, back-to-back good games. It's like, I don't know.
It's
if you
almost
want to
like
do it.
It's almost like It's almost like he's a wide receiver handcuff to Keenan Allen.
Did Keenan Allen didn't get hurt this last game though, did he?
No.
No, but I'm saying
But he's saying that
Keenan Allen gets hurt though.
He's talking about the week
game
that he hurt his spinal
against the
his
Saints,
back.
and then he did that last year when Keenan Allen got hurt against the Chiefs. I believe he had like 3 touchdowns, like 100 and something yards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe you do the do what you were talking about with backup running backs. Just drop him
like you said, he is like boom bust. You know, he's high risk, high reward. I mean, he has had 99 or more yards in 2 of the last 3 games. The one game he got 5 yards though?
4
yards. But I mean, like PPR wise, 28 and then 1.5 and then 21 PPR points. So I think it's kind of one of those. Are you feeling lucky? Are you a gambling man?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not the talent. The guy's super talented, and he's one of the best.
I mean, if I have
contested catch receivers in the NFL. I mean, you see the catch that he made on Sunday. It's like the guy's all over him, holding his arm, and he pretty much just out muscles the guy and catches it with one hand. He almost had a second touchdown. The defensive back made a nice play and intercepted Herbert. But I just think with Herbert balling and playing as good as he is, I mean, I feel like Herbert throws like 3 touchdowns a game almost every single week.
Yeah.
And then Keenan Allen obviously is the go-to guy there, but I mean, Hunter Henry hasn't really emerged as like this, stud tight end. I mean, you got Guyton who's out there playing a ton of snaps as well, who I think, him and Herbert have the rapport obviously from training camp. But like I said, I think I'm more biased because I just like Mike Williams, so I'd at least want him on my bench. And then if I'm in a situation where I'm like, okay, I just need a boom game. I need a guy who can go out there and get me 25 points. Maybe he can get me 1, but I need a guy who can get me 25 points to help me win. Then he's a guy like that.
Yeah, that like you said, if I'm down by a lot and say he's like one of my later plays, then I'll throw him in just for the upside, or say like I get burned on a Thursday night game, then yeah, maybe.
Because I did that in one league this week. So I was in a game that was pretty close. The guy had a lot of players left, and I was chasing. So I had a couple players on bye, so I was kind of just picking up players on the waiver wire. But I had Greg Ward in there, and I was thinking, like, okay, maybe Greg Ward can get me, 4 for 50. At least he won't goose egg me, Like he'll get me 9 points, maybe 10 points.
But you need more than that.
Yeah, Mike Williams is there, and I was like, all right, look, if Mike Williams has a game, he can get me 20-plus points. So I swapped it out just for the upside of what Mike Williams could do. Obviously, this week it hit. Is it going to be consistent? Definitely not. But there's just a scenario like that where I'm talking about where if you need the upside, maybe you throw him into your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, especially double flex. He's kind of worth the risk in a double flex because you have deeper teams. I think just end of the story with Mike Williams is just if you start him and he gets you 1, it is what it is. Just shut up, don't bitch about it, because it's like Mecole Hardman. He's either going to get you something bigger or he's going to get you nothing. And you know that going into it. So it's like
he's better than me. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they have that. I'm just throwing another name out there where it's like there are players like that who they have. Like,
same idea.
Yeah. It's like if you start him, understand I might get 1, but I also might get 29. So it's like fucking roll with the dice and do whatever happens.
Flip a coin.
Flip a coin. We'll go to Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor. The Eagles, it's like they're hurting. They're hurting for a squirting, dude. How do you feel about the rookie? He got a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he was second on the team in targets. I mean, it was a decent rookie. I mean, he hasn't really played much all year to start, so he was actually still behind Greg Ward in snaps. But I think he actually overtakes Greg Ward sooner rather than later in snaps. He had 3 targets for a touchdown. I mean, Carson Wentz needs help. I don't know if I'd trust starting him based off of what I saw, but I wouldn't be dropping him.
Yeah,
I would say he's like the 2 behind Travis Fulgham. Travis Fulgham seems like the guy there right now.
Yeah,
he's getting more than Dallas Goedert.
I mean, if he keeps his pace up, Fulgham, he's going to probably end up being a top 24 wide receiver at the end of the year.
Shit, maybe top 15.
Yeah, and I called 15. It, dude. I said that.
I did not. I slept on him, and he said, "Hold
that.
My beer tea." But I mean, yeah, Reagor's on a bye this week, so you probably don't have to waste a waiver claim.
Definitely not starting him. Take that back.
Or you don't have to waste a waiver claim, or maybe just like $1 on him on Fab, or you could even bet 0 and still that'll count as like a bid on a player. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at going to get him. Like you said, it's Fulgham, who obviously is the number 1 alpha right now. Greg Ward, maybe he plays a lot of snaps, but he's kind of more like the slot, PPR possession kind of guy. Reagor's the guy who could take like the top off the defense, that big play guy. So good little stash play.
Yeah, he's kind of like someone like where he could be like a Brandon Ayuk, where they're going to give. They gave him 1 carry last week in his first. He might get 2-3 carries. Maybe he gets some deep balls. I'm not saying Ayuk with no deep ball. I mean like as
Deep
far as that type
balls.
of player.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ayuk, wait.
Hadouken!
Hey, if he's there, pick him up.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
We'll go on to Russel Gage.
I'm just gonna find out ways to bring him up every week.
You love pressing that button.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
it. That I've never seen you get so excited about a drop.
yeah. I almost let it slip by. Almost a missed opportunity.
So yeah, Russell Gage, Calvin Ridley slip, trip, and fell on his dick.
That's not good.
Yeah,
He Dennis Rodman did.
He broke his pee-pee. Dennis Rodman's broken his penis
Twice.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that. I was gonna say 3 times.
Oh, maybe it is. I know it's at least
That's
twice.
kind of
Yeah.
hurt so bad.
Yeah, he said that this girl was just laying on the bed and was like, get me from over there, and he did like a running start and like jumped and just like broke his dick.
Oh my god.
Okay, first off, how small is this chick? Because Dennis Rodman is like 6, whatever
I
the
know.
fuck.
It's like
He's
6'8",
massive.
6'9", or something.
Probably
Like
a
Just
big
imagine-
old bitch.
She's like some 5-foot Asian girl. And Dennis
know.
Rodman just runs up and flies on her.
Yeah, so Russell Gage did not break his penis, but he did. Or I mean, excuse me, Russell Gage.
Calvin Ridley.
Jesus Christ, Calvin Ridley didn't break his penis, but
We're on Twitter. Breaking news. AVG just said Calvin Ridley is out with a broken penis.
this is every girl that talks to him. Did you really break your penis?
It's a chick. I knew you were fucking. He's like, what are you talking about?
But yeah, so I think Russell Gage gets an uptick when Calvin Ridley's not there. So I think you definitely need to add Russell Gage. I think he's up there on one of these ads if he's available. What do you know his percentage owned, Tyler?
Russell Gage, I do not.
Okay, I'll pull it up real fast.
But just for the Calvin Ridley injury, it's a mid-foot sprain, and he's considered day-to-day. So I mean, like he could miss this week. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too serious. So hopefully it's only a game, 2 at the most, for Calvin Ridley.
Okay, he's only 19% owned, Russell Gage. So he's available in 81% of leagues, if I did my math correct, in the ESPN app, which is the most owned usually.
Your mask checked it out for you.
We'll go on to the next one here. We got wide receiver Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, here's another guy who's kind of owned in like all over the place. 32% ESPN, 69% NFL, and then 57%
available.
Available, yeah, 57% available in Yahoo. I mean, since he's come back from the turf toe, 8 targets and 10 targets, 15 or more PPR points in both games, and I can't remember what it was. I think he like averaged like 8 targets last year, didn't he, with Danny Dimes?
Yeah, I went through. I mean, we were talking. He was one of the guys late draft season. I was like, take Sterling Shepard. I was like, he had one game, 6 targets or more in every game. And then last week we were kind of like, do you kind of trust him? This week I was like, well, I mean, the trend was it's almost repeating itself. It's only 3 games, so I'm not going to say it's going to happen again. But 6 targets, 4 in week 2. He got hurt early in that game, so I'm going to assume he would have saw at least 6 targets in that. 8 the week 7 and 10 again. I mean, he's a PPR almost like a 10-point type of guy, and when he gets in the end zone, it's only going to be a bonus. So.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see, Darius Slayton, who lines up predominantly on the outside, he's getting those like shadow or those tougher corners, playing against, Carlton Davis on the outside. And you got, I forget who they played the other week, but, he's seeing like those, Darius Slay against the Eagles. So I feel like that kind of just opens up the door even more for Sterling Shepard.
I mean, yeah, as far as Sterling Shepard, I mean, I think it's even Carlton Davis was on him. He didn't move. So when Sterling Shepard was on that side of the field, Sterling Shepard was on him. So he did that with Carlton Davis on him for some of the catches. He actually made 3 or 4 catches with Carlton Davis could have picked one of them, but that's kind of inspiring to see that when he's doing that. And then you have the Eagles corner. They actually have another good corner. I forget his name. It's drawing a blank outside of Darius Slay, who's actually tougher than Darius Slay when it comes to coverage and passer rating and all that. He had the 10 targets and the touchdown last week, so he's went against 2 good corners in back-to-back weeks and done that. So I actually got to look into that because I don't know why some of the Darius Slay stats are skewed because of the other corner that Philly has, because he's been more locked down than Darius Slay has. I lost his name. I'll look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Go get Sterling Shepard.
Yeah. I'm just saying if you go against 2 tough matchups and he's able to do that, when he has cake matchups, you got to like him as a flex.
Upside, yeah.
Avonte Maddox?
No. We'll
Okay.
just get moving on. I'll look it
Sorry,
up. and
sorry.
I'll say it during the love hate or something.
Okay. Let's go on to tight ends. Here we got Eric Ebron. Did pretty well. Ended up in the end zone. I do think that he's a little bit touchdown dependent, but I do see him in a lot of plays with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The time of possession was actually probably the lowest the Steelers have had all year, and for him to be able to do that, that's pretty decent. Yeah, so I think Eric Ebron's still a decent ad as a tight end.
I mean, yeah, it could be worse. You could start Gesicki.
Yeah, you could have started Gesicki.
Like me, like a fucking. He's dead to me.
Yeah,
He had one last chance, and he's just dead to me. I don't know what it is with Gesicki, but they're just not. I think I was talking to Anthony Affair. He's only had 2 games where he's had 6 or more targets, and he's put up like he's balled in both those games. But then every other game, it's like 3, 2, 0, 1. Like he's just dead.
so you're saying drop Mike Gesicki.
He's dead to me, dude. He's dead to me.
I mean,
that might be one of my biggest misses.
You
He's
could.
dead to me.
I mean, it's like he was a miss. I mean, it's like, dude, he was like the tight end 10, 11. It's like
I think he's still tight end 12 right now. But
because of one game.
well, he got like 30 points one game, and then he got like 15 in another game.
Tyler Higbee's like tight end 7, and he had
had,
3
like,
touchdowns in
one
one
game.
good
I know
one
it's
game.
like, dude, it's like that's what I'm like, dude. After tight end 4, it's like it's a crapshoot every week.
Yeah.
Even Jonnu Smith is like he'll have 2 touchdowns a game, 2 touchdowns another game, and then in between it's like you get 2 receptions for
Fucking
fucking
tight
20
ends.
yards.
I'm honestly in favor. Like if our leagues would vote on this, I'd be in favor of it as making the tight end position a tight. If you don't want to get rid of kickers, make the tight end position a tight end / wide receiver position.
Someone's phone's ringing.
It's not me. My phone's always off.
All right, we can go on to
All right, cool.
the what?
I was bringing up the tight end wide receiver flex thing.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't know if you liked it or not, but all right.
No, yeah. I mean, I agree. It's frustrating to play.
I think the only consistent tight end is being Travis Kelce because you
Yeah,
see
that's what we
Kittle
talked
get banged
about.
up. He's missed some games. He's going to be on IR. He might miss the rest of the season. And, even then, he's had a couple games where he's got 4 for 40. Waller's had a couple dud games. Mark Andrews, couple dud games. Like, I think this is why last year we were saying, if you want to go get Kelce in the first round, back in the first round, it's worth it because at least the guys, you're locked in. Each and every week you have a massive upside and advantage at the tight end position if you have Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but Eric Ebron's probably going to finish tight end too, but we can move on to here. Austin Hooper. Austin, I don't like this, but plead your case.
I mean, he's available in a good amount of leagues. They're on a bye, so I would assume that he might even be dropped in a lot of other, more leagues. People are like, oh, I need players. Austin Hooper's hurt. He's on a bye. He might get dropped. But, I mean, prior to him, having the emergency appendectomy, 5 receptions, 3 straight games, 10 or more PPR points in all 3 of those games. I mean, you got no Odell with the torn ACL. He's on IR. And, I mean, we've seen Baker. He likes to, target the tight end. So it wouldn't be a bad stash to go out and just grab Hooper and hold on to him if you need a tight end.
Hooper with the poopa scoopa.
Yeah, I mean, I actually on the outside, I do like Hooper. If he's there, I'm gonna grab him. 3 straight weeks. Those last 3 weeks before getting hurt, 7 targets, 10 targets, 6 targets. I mean, if you're getting let's just say he averages 5 to 5.5 target tight end on any consistent basis. I mean, I like that. Nick Chubb's only going to help the offense going forward. I mean, they haven't been the same on the ground without Nick Chubb. He's expected back in week 10. Trade for Nick Chubb if you can.
Oh, my God. I can't wait.
It's the last week with that. And also, when you go to percentage of, I always talk about this in the offseason of how the pie chart is broken down, where do the targets go? Cleveland throws to the tight end at over 30%. So if they throw to the tight end, and if Baker Mayfield drops back 33 times, that means the tight end position is going to see 11 targets that week, give or take, roughly based on what they're doing. So that means Austin Hooper's probably going to have a good amount of targets based off of just the target distribution to the tight end and then his involvement. So I actually like Austin Hooper a lot. I think he's someone who could potentially not win your league, but not be a bust tight end for you down the stretch.
Yeah. I mean, I think what was the I think that the Browns played the Bengals and then they played the Raiders. So I don't want to say I don't know.
I mean, they got to throw the ball to somebody. They paid him a decent amount of money to come there. And, obviously, no preseason games. Training camp was kind of limited. So, I mean, maybe it just took a while for him to, learn the offense and kind of build that rapport with Baker Mayfield. But, I mean, obviously,
Odell being
Njoku's
out,
not the
you're
guy. Njoku's not the answer for them there. They might even trade him.
I'm such a Browns hater.
I was like, you just hate the Browns. I was like, he did 5 for 52 against Pittsburgh and 5 for 57 against Colts. The Colts are 2 of the tougher defenses. So
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm being.
It could be worse. You
so
could start Gesicki.
Don't listen to me. When we're talking about the Browns, listen to me, but also don't listen to me.
When we talk about the Browns, about how they're the Browns until they're not the Browns, that's when you listen to Mike.
Facts.
He's been right for like 5 years running.
All right, let's go on to Jordan Reed. Like you said earlier, George Kittle slipped and tripped and broke his pee-pee.
A lot of broken dicks out there.
A lot of broken dicks.
Bro, this one's breaking my heart.
Breaking my heart. You're like, George Kittle's back.
No. So yeah, George Kittle, he's got a fracture in his foot or a fracture in his ankle. They're saying I read a report said 8 weeks. So
he's put a fracture in your heart.
I read another. Yeah, he fractured my heart. But then I read another report saying that he's probably going to be done for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if the Niners are even going to make the playoffs. That division is pretty tough over there.
They could all 4 make the playoffs, by the way.
Yeah, but yeah, it's tough. No Kittle, like I said, probably for the rest of the season, at least for the rest of the fantasy football season. Jordan Reed was a guy where he came in, 2 touchdowns 1 week, and then he got hurt. I mean, that guy's always getting hurt as well. But just a sneaky little play. I think he's slated to come back off IR, or he did, and he was practicing. It's a short week for Thursday Night Football. They play the Packers, but he looks like he's going to be the number 1 tight end for the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they need pass catchers. Debo's out, Kittle's out. I mean, they're just hurting for playmakers and pass catchers.
Could be Ross Dwelly.
Yeah. Ooh, Dwelly.
Jordan, it's a dart throw.
Yeah.
Wait, what would you say?
If Jordan Reed's out, there could be Ross Dwelly out there.
Ross Dwelly.
He
Imagine losing to Ross Dwelly in your fantasy league.
Hey,
I would kill myself. I would kill myself. Go to Home Depot, buy about 8 feet of rope, and then I will cut.
This is how I feel when I'm like, yeah,
Then
start Mark Gesicki.
Got a good brain.
Well, it's not even the Gesicki. It's like when you look at like the tight end, like top scores in the week. Like if you pull it up and you go to top 10 tight end scores week. What was last week? 8, 7?
Week 8.
It's gonna be half of them are gonna be at least stupid names you don't even know. That's just how the tight end position works. So it's like tight ends are tight ends.
Yeah, it'll be like Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
Or Dan Arnold.
Or Darren Smythe, the other Dolphins tight
Dan
end.
Arnold
Yeah.
Dan Arnold had 15 fantasy points last week during a bye.
All right, last one. Did you throw in Goddard or no?
No, I did not.
Oh, well, Dallas Goddard, he's on a bye. I know if you had him, someone asked me, one of the listeners asked if you to start Goddard. I think I said you got to wait at least one more week to see how healthy he is.
Agreed.
You don't know how much he's going to get incorporated, but it was a little reassuring. You still have Zach Ertz, who's on IR, but Goddard's available in a decent amount of leagues. Like I said, they're on a bye, but he did play 84% of the snaps, so he was out there a ton. And for what it's worth, the tight end position only saw 1 target as a whole unit. Like Goddard had 1 target, and that was it. So they just didn't target the tight ends for whatever reason that game. So, yeah, just going forward, if you need a tight end, I would go out and stash Goddard and just hold on to him.
Stash Goddard. All right, that's it for the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast Season 3, Episode 67. That was the NFL Week 9 Waiver Wire episode. Now you know who to pick up, who to start. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Send us any feedback you got for us. Yeah, do that. Also, subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast app. If you haven't already, go ahead and leave us a rating and review. Subscribe to us on YouTube. If you want more knowledge, baby. You want to see us video format, baby. That'll be great. If this is helpful, let us know in the comments down below, and do that. If you have any questions, go ahead and give it to us. Give it to us, baby. Give it to us, baby. And just like that, the episode's over, and us big boys are out.